Well, I got the right one. It's just, all right. Okay, so this afternoon we have a Public Works item, number 15, which is Order 16-05-24-06, in the matter of annexing territory to the McKenzie Fire and Rescue District to provide fire protection service to the annexation territory, consisting of portions of TRS 17-01-32-40 tax lots 1006, 1011, and 1012. File number FMK 2016 ANX-1. And I'd like to welcome Lindsay Eichner, our Associate Planner, and our Planning Director, Lydia McKinney.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today we are holding our second public hearing, which is required by the rules for annexing into a special district. The reason that in this case we're having a second public hearing is there are multiple property owners involved. All of them are in support, but the regulations say if there's multiple property owners involved, we have to hold a second hearing and give people the opportunity to request that this go to election for the entire special district. No one has requested that as of today. So if the board wishes to move forward in adopting the or in support of the annexation, there is a second order that I prepared with my previous board packet that will finalize the annexation if that's your desire today.
Okay.
But I do believe we need to open the public hearing before we do that.
Okay. Any questions before I open the public hearing? Okay. This time I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that'd like to speak at the hearing? Okay. Close it. I'll close the public hearing and look to the board for possible direction. Commissioner Farr?
Is that dash 06, the order? There isn't one subsequent to that, is there?
You know, I forgot to print out the agenda today,
that's
so I
fine.
didn't see.
Yeah, it's 06.
If any, okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move passage of order number 1605-2406 in the matter of annexing territory to the McKenzie Fire and Rescue District.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Not that we don't like you being here.
Couldn't quick, but what's controversial about trying people getting fire protection?
Fire protection.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Okay, we did have Commissioner's business that we moved from this morning to this afternoon, so at this time I'd like to go to Commissioner's business and start with announcements. Do we have announcements? Commissioner Lycan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So tomorrow, I'll be in Salem for the Region 2 Super Act meeting, and that's when we start prioritizing the Connect 6 projects. We have 5 here from Lane County that will be moving forward, at least into this initial meeting, and then the June 14th and 15th is when all groups get together and start prioritizing, put them in prioritization of what's going to be funded for the Connect 6. And then that'll be moved on to the Oregon Transportation Commission. And then on the 26th, there's an event in Albany that's, I think the timing's perfect. It's actually the Port of Portland is going to be having going to be presenting, and with the, looks like with the final big container business closing down at the port, you know, this is really a good time to be engaging with them and trying to figure out what's going on and how is this potentially affecting our economy. And so that's actually going to be in Albany at the Albany Golf Club. No, I will not be playing golf, but anyway, so it'll be very interesting to hear back from the Port of Portland, and that's, I think that's something that I think we would all be interested in hearing about. Thank you.
Okay. Other announcements? Commissioner Farr?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick reports back. Last week, the Mental Health Advisory Committee met on Wednesday. That's Mental Health Advisory Local Alcohol and Drug Policy Committee. And just wanted to pass along to the members of the board and the members of the Budget Committee their appreciation for the fact that we added a behavioral health specialist to the jail and the parole and probation specialist, as well as the Community Crisis Center. Created a great deal of happiness in that committee. They expressed gratitude that they've seen more progress perhaps than they've seen before regarding regarding the response to their work and the work that they are undergoing on a regular basis. Second report back is Poverty and Homelessness Board met last week, and we had a presentation on Multnomah County's housing efforts and getting some cross-pollination between Multnomah County and Lane County regarding what they're doing, what we're doing, and how we can help each other maximize our resources. And the final thing is that, actually there are two more. I visited Kids First. First time I'd actually spent any time out at Kids First this last week. And they're in the process of expanding their facility to cover the entire cottage, the entire juvenile residential center that they're in. Expressed hope that they could stay in there for a while, and at some point down the road move into a more appropriate facility for their charge, for their mission and their work. Pretty amazing what they do, and the kids that they see at Kids First are the ones whose hearts are broken the most, the ones who need the most help and get the most help. They just hired a full-time MD who is working full-time with the kids. They've never had that in the facility before. We're really pleased to see Kids First moving along. And finally, Friday afternoon, right here in this room, Judge Rook Lay, had her commencement of the drug court. And 3 men and 1 woman graduated, and their families were here. So for the first time, they had it in Harris Hall in order to allow the people to be there in more of a celebratory mode than sitting in a courtroom, which is where they historically have done that. And I was sitting in that kind of plaid chair right there, and there's a lady behind me whose son was graduating, and I turned around and I saw tears of relief, fear, and anticipation on her face. I mean, the emotion in that courtroom as those 4 people were graduating, instead of going to jail, instead of spending time in prison, they actually went through the year-long process, which in many ways is probably more difficult than serving time because of the net result. 2 of them had received their GED under the program. All 4 of them had graduated, and all 4 of them reported extensive time since their clean date, and they were very anticipatory of their life ahead, which had changed significantly because of Judge Rook and the people to support the drug court. If you've not had a chance to go to that or watch it, it's really impressive to see the men and women go through that. There was a nice special on KVAL last night about drug court. It was about a 20-minute special that they had on the news, and it's while there are drug courts in lots of counties throughout the nation, I believe that what's happening in ours seems to be a little bit more attuned to reuniting people to a normal life. What's normal? To a life in regular society and being productive rather than being. As the one woman I talked to after her tears had dried, she said, I used to, when the phone rang, I worried who was calling and why they were calling. And now she is experiencing a sense of relief that only a parent can, I think, fully understand. So thank you very much.
Mr. Sorensen?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention that the Lane Workforce Council and Board have been meeting, and I've been going to it. This most recent meeting was all about the people that are going to be appointed to the board, and I was really amazed at how many people from throughout the community were interested in workforce issues and how to better serve the employers and provide opportunities to those employers, and also to the young people and others that are part of the service group that we're trying to help with this. So it's a good organization, and I'm glad we're a part of it.
Mr. Bozovich?
Thank you. So earlier today, I made kind of reference to our improvement in recidivism rates, and at lunchtime, I was able to take a very complex chart and boil it down to a simple graph, which kind of shows the improvements against the state of Oregon's averages. And I just posted this at lunchtime on both my personal Facebook page and my county commissioner Facebook page that I manage, so you can actually look at it up close. But it's a pretty amazing story. You know, it graphs, you know, they take folks that have been released from prison or the folks that have been placed on probation over 6 months and follow them for 3 years to see if they reoffend. And our rate has been consistently dropping over the last several years to where we're now below the state's average. Amazing story to tell. Lots of partners involved in that. Everybody from sponsors to drug court to, you know, veterans court, you know, all these different programs, all these different pieces of the puzzle, the work we've done in homeless and sheltering folks, all those things add together to reduce this recidivism rate. So it's pretty great story, but it kind of follows that whole circle of public safety that, you know, that the county administrator put together. It takes all of that to try and divert people out of the criminal justice system and get them on the straight and narrow. And the other announcement I'd just like to make real quick is that I do this little internet radio show, the Bo's Nose Show. There won't be a show this week because starting next week, I'm changing the day and time of the show. Was doing Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock. It kind of wasn't working out real well, and a lot of schedules kept interfering with things like budget committee meetings, and I haven't made a Santa Clara Community Organization meeting in a couple months because it conflicts. So I'm moving it to Wednesday afternoons at 4 o'clock. So starting next week, it'll be Wednesday evenings at 4 o'clock. But of course, because it's an internet radio show, they're all archived, and you don't have to wait. You don't have to listen to it live. You can listen to them off the archives anytime you want to. But if you actually want to call and talk to me, you have to listen live. So it's just another opportunity for the citizens of Lane County to call in and talk to a county commissioner live. Ask those burning questions that you've had about, you know, how we use the money in our budget, or you know, what department you have to go to get, you know, to get a copy of your deed, you know, those sort of things. I'll try and help you. If not, I can always get some information and get back to you. So hopefully you'll be there next week, Wednesday at 4 o'clock on KRBN Internet Radio.
Okay. Anything else? So we'll move now to agenda team requests / work session requests. Mr. Bozovich?
So in the news this morning was the city of Cottage Grove moving on to the ballot a 3% local tax on retail recreational marijuana sales. And I thought it might be good for the board to have that come up as an agenda item to discuss. If I can get a couple other people to raise their hand besides me, I think it's something we need to at least discuss. The Register Guard had an interesting editorial about it this morning, and I think I have to agree with them. If we are going to move forward, it would be my strong recommendation that we identify how the money will be used if it does pass as part of the putting it forward. But I think we need to have a discussion whether we want to put it on the ballot or not, and also, you know, if we are going to put it on the ballot, how we might use the revenue, what little we might gain from it. So I just think it's important to have that discussion, seeing it looks like next November is when all those measures need to really be on the ballot. And we don't have a whole lot of time to make that decision before the November ballots start getting drawn up.
Okay. Looks like we have 3+ head nods, 4, 5. So yeah, let's include it for a future agenda item. Okay, any others? All right. So with that, we will move to review of assignments. Mr. Rickoff?
Chair Stewart, I believe that we have two. One will be the follow-up to actually an item that is on the existing agenda list. In October 6, 2015, Commissioner Bosevich asked that we look at the transient room tax as it pertains to Airbnb and VVRO rentals. There was work done on this during the legislative session. This has been assigned to County Council and to Alex Kyler. We will schedule an update. We just received word about Senate appointments to the statewide committee looking at this issue, but we'll be providing an update on that topic per your public comment today, and then we will work towards scheduling the marijuana tax consideration. I did miss a couple items during my announcements, and if I may, I'd just like to follow up on, I've been asked to serve on the search committee for the Lane Community College president, and I will be attending meetings of the search committee, both public forums and hearings, town hall meetings up at Lane Community College today, tomorrow, and Thursday, with the first meeting of the search committee on Thursday. Last night, we continued our Rural Prosperity Initiative presentations with Crestwell City Council. That went very well. That's our 6th City Council meeting, and to date, they've been very well received. We are in the process of hiring the Community Economic Development Manager to replace Sarah Means. Now that she's been promoted, we've got 40 applications. She's the hiring supervisor and is working her way through that process. And I would like to commend Commissioner Farr. What he failed to mention about the treatment court graduation is that he was one of the keynote speakers and did a very commendable job. He was joined in that by the Springfield Police Chief as well as District Attorney Perlow, and to have a police chief and the DA say, "This is what works." It's a really powerful message. This does change lives, and it's a tremendous opportunity to be reminded of the important mission we have, that we carry, and the work that's being done by our courts. I believe that's it. Did I miss any assignments other than the VBRO and the marijuana tax?
I think you got it. Great.
Thank you, Chair.
So is there any other business? I'd just like to remind us that we do have well, I guess it's projected for a 2-hour meeting next Tuesday. Sorry we took up that off week and scheduled a meeting, but it's an important conversation. I'm glad that each of you can make it. There'll be also a really quick executive session with it, and a couple approval of some quick letters. So it should be easily done within a couple hours, I assume, in the morning. So with that, I guess we'll adjourn.